Now, let's dive deep into this big LGBTQ story for today. I'm Greg Shapiro, and let's core up the USA View. Adult performer Austin Wolf sentenced in child porn case. Justin Heath Smith, also known as gay adult performer Austin Wolf, was sentenced to 19 years in prison for enticing a minor. The 44-year-old was arrested last summer and had pleaded guilty to the charges. Prosecutors submitted a 15-page memorandum on September 22nd requesting a maximum sentence for Smith, referencing other victims beyond the 15-year-old whom this case centered on. U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York, J. Clayton, said in a statement, quote, "Justin Heath Smith's crimes against children are horrible. He targeted kids as young as 7, and every New Yorker wants him and those like him off our streets for as long as possible and never again near our children," end quote. Smith's defense attorneys, Michael Baldassare and Thomas Andrykovitz, argued for lenience due to his lack of a previous criminal record, his sobriety, and his being an advocate for others in the adult industry. They also claimed that the prosecution padded their submission with unproven allegations. The adult industry was rattled by Smith's arrest in June of 2024 when FBI agents found hundreds of child sexual abuse images on an SD card in his Manhattan apartment. Many other performers warned that conservatives would use the charges to continue attacks against the LGBTQ community at large. One content creator was quoted anonymously saying, quote, "This is catastrophic news. We have to do everything in our power to separate us from people like this," end quote. What Justin Heath Smith did was deplorable and abhorrent enough at any time, but it's particularly damaging at this moment in terms of what it represents, and it allows our enemies to cast us in an unfair light, further fueling their mission to vilify us in any way they find suitable.
Yeah, again, it's when we do these types of stories, we're telling them because, again, we know what the greater world is associating those stories that this is something that's prevalent amongst our community when that is completely false. We also know that there's plenty of stories that can be filled up on this news channel, and we've talked about some of them, of conservatives being accused for the exact same thing, such as Republican lawmakers. One was sentenced in South Carolina, Representative May, who just was charged with similar crimes with child pornography. So there are plenty on the other side. This is not something that has to do with your political party. It is not something that has to do with your sexuality. It has to do with a mental disorder. So again, our thoughts are with all the victims, of course, but this has nothing to do with the LGBTQ community.
Yeah, when these things hit the news, you hope that it hits the news where a person did this horrible thing and their sexuality doesn't come into play. And it's the same way that we want when two people get married. It's just a wedding. It's not a gay wedding.
Right.
So it should go for everything.
Right.
If a person is bad, a person is bad, regardless of what their sexuality is.
Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, we live in a time where every crime, whether it's a shooting or a sexual abuse case, your sexuality, your political party is attached to it, and then becomes something that permeates the other side to rally against. Right, when really it's the crime that we should be coming out against. So. Well, that is a big LGBTQ story for today. There is no other queer, nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight.